Juliana, I think we should break up. Peter said it reluctantly. Peter couldn't dare to look at Juliana's eyes. He looked at her eyes through the reflection of Juliana on the wine glass instead. Her eyes were starry, like melancholic stars glittering on the night sky. Juliana seemed confused, but she knew Peter was scared of something. His hunched back showed the bundles that he was carrying on himself. She asked,
Why? What is going on with you? We were doing so well. We are loving each other. We call each other every single moment. Is it because of that?
Peter closed his eyes in the pain, but he had to face where the pain came from. He opened his eyes and stared at Juliana's eyes directly and answered, No, Juliana. No, I love you not. I love you so much. He took a deep breath. His jaw was shaking. Futility filled his mind right after answering her. His heart felt empty, and soon it felt like it was imploded. He knew that if he spoke out one more word, the emotions that he held on to would flow out unstoppably. So he bit his lip. Juliana waited and watched Peter's hands move. He swallowed a few words and he closed his eyes again. He continued, I went to a memory clinic today. I just had to go in the middle of work because I was scared, and I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I might have dementia, Juliana, and I have to give up on you because I don't want to leave any kind of bundles that comes with me if I am diagnosed with dementia. That's why I want you to break up with me. Find someone better who is healthy and able to take care of you.
Dementia? I know you forget things easily lately, but come on, Peter. You're only 32. There is no way you are having dementia. Maybe it is because of the stress that you get from work. You felt so much stress at work recently and you were scared to be fired and such. Maybe you're losing your memories because of anxiety or stress. And even if you have a dementia, I'd like to love you. That's what love is.
Every word coming out from Juliana made Peter's heart painful, and tears were dropping through his closed eyes. He couldn't help himself. His mouth spitted out a few breaths. He smiled because of Juliana, but at the same time his pride was cracking slowly. He opened his eyes and saw Juliana again. I don't deserve you. Peter wiped his tears, but it was unstoppable. He drank a sip of water and continued. I told you the story about my grandmother and how much I loved her. And I even told you that she had dementia and how I felt. And you know how much I am scared of dementia. If I'm having dementia, then you will be shocked because I'm going to be a completely different person. You will be hurt because I might not be able to control myself, and I might not remember how I hurted you. And I do not want you to go through this at your age. Peter held Juliana's hand, and Juliana laced her fingers with his fingers. Juliana kissed Peter's hand and said,
You're not alone, Peter. You don't have to go through this alone. Remember? You always told me to make a decision that I wouldn't regret. I would like to stay with you, and I want to make you happy as long as I can.
Peter pulled his hand out from her hand and smiled at her. He responded, Juliana, that's really sweet of you, but these are realistic decisions that I have to make. And it is the decisions that you have to make as well, because from now on, from this point, I'm your pain and your sorrow. It might be painful right now, but you will live your life. I will become your memory, and I will be your beautiful past. A memory that you will look back once a while, like you all put up your old album, so your memory. Don't worry about me, because if I have a dementia, If I am diagnosed with dementia, I will lose all the memories that I had with you eventually. He laughed at the end, but it was the moment his pride shattered completely. He knew without pride in himself, love is no longer love anymore.
Can I stay with you until you are diagnosed with dementia? I mean, you're not sure if you have dementia or not, you're assuming. I mean, like I said, your symptoms could just simply be caused by your stress or anxiety. If it is just stress or anxiety, then you can just take a chill pill and be with me. I personally don't think you have dementia, Peter.
Peter laughed and remembered why he fell in love with Juliana. She was positive, brave, and always showed care towards him, as much as he tries to remember the past with Juliana. The memories were vaporized like how Polaroid film photos fades over the heat. It wasn't like a pitch black, but a vague color that he could only imagine.
Juliana, I have to be very honest with you. I lost a lot of memories that I built with you. Just like we built the house together, but I do not see the bottom of the house. Like the floor is floated. I just can't understand how we are keeping this up together. You know what I mean?
Peter, I understand what you are trying to say, but people who have a dementia, they can't have a good verbal skills like how you do right now. You just forget things, like how most people do. You might not remember right now, but if I show you the pictures, or if I say something, then it will remind you and you will remember.
Juliana held Peter's hand this time. Peter was about to lose consciousness suddenly, but the warmth through the hand was the only way he could keep his consciousness hanging. He knew, if he lost consciousness shortly, just for that moment, he might forget whatever just happened.
Peter, look at me. You know you're not alone, and I believe it is not the negative.
Juliana, I know myself, and you know I'm a positive person, and I tend to think positively, but I know this is not going in the right direction because...
Peter felt a serious headache and he couldn't remember where he stopped. He rubbed his face morbidly and saw Juliana's face. Her face was unidentifiable. Her face was blurry and couldn't remember what he was doing and where he was at the moment. He blinked repeatedly to get back his consciousness. Juliana called his name a few times, and his name was echoing inside of his head.
Baby.
That was the moment when he could hear a word clearly. Peter couldn't remember what he was doing, but there was Juliana in front of him holding his hand. Instead of remembering who Juliana was, Peter chose to understand the situation instead. Juliana continued once she saw Peter was looking at her eyes.
Please, let me take care of you.
The memories rapidly flowed back in, and it caused the dizziness, but he remembered what Juliana was talking about and who she was. As much as he got confused, he was getting closer to the conclusion.
All right, Juliana, how about this? Let me have my own time for now, and you have your own time until my diagnosis comes out. It will take a few weeks to get the report. If I'm not diagnosed with dementia, then I will contact you again, and we can continue. How does this sound?
Okay.
The server served the food on the table awkwardly and left as soon as possible.
I just want to have a memorable dinner with you tonight because I wanted to tell you this.
Juliana looked at the food that she ordered, but she had no appetite left with her. She had a bite of a steak, but it was hard to swallow. Instead of having a meal, she chose to watch Peter instead, because she wanted to remember. Peter avoided looking at Juliana, because he knew he didn't want to leave her if he saw her. Peter just realized his emotions got numb. He thought he would be heartbreaking, but somehow it was oddly numb. Juliana got quiet until the meal was finished by Peter. They left the restaurant without any words, and on the street Juliana asked Peter awkwardly,
Are we going home now?
Yes, Peter answered in a dry tone, and he continued. I have to take a taxi today. I decided to drive a bit less in this condition, so I can't technically drive you home today. Do you want me to get the taxi for you? Juliana kissed Peter's lips while he was talking. It was the first time Peter saw how she kissed her. She was closing her eyes, and diamond-like tears dropped, and Peter could only watch it flow.
I will see you later, Peter.
She slowly walked backward and turned around. Her black dress fluttered like withered rose leaves falling off from its stems. It was the moment Peter realized how her heart felt, and realized the love was in the shape of a withered rose. The love was over just once Peter found out his consciousness was withering, just like a flower losing a life. He wishes he could forget about Juliana the moment when he turns back, but cruelly, it is just the first step towards a cave of oblivion. Peter was going through the photos of Juliana while he was in the taxi. He leaned his head on the cold window to keep his sanity and to remember the decisions that he made. Peter blocked Juliana's phone number and erased her from the contacts, and removed photos of Juliana one by slide through, and just remembered how much he loved her. Feelings got numb as his dementia was getting worse, but he wanted to remember the love towards Juliana. It was precious, and it was the purpose of his life. As much as he was emptying the albums in the phone, his memories were fading, just like his head was filling up with the black screen that he was facing every time he deleted the memory of it. Once he reached his house, he threw his phone on his bed and laid on his bed alone. He closed his eyes, and once he hid himself into the darkness, he couldn't think of any words. Complete silence felt like flushing his consciousness with ice-cold water. Once he opened his eyes, the room was still dark. Just a pale moonlight shone the room vaguely. The first thing he saw was the phone in front of him, and the screen was turned off. Air blew in from the vent, and the tranquil noise made him feel nostalgic. There was someone in his head, but couldn't remember who she was, couldn't remember her name or her face. But there was a habit of calling, and habit of saying something to the person over the phone. I love you, good night. Soon he forgot what he said, and fell into the sweet dream, and saw the face of someone he missed. His tears dropped with oblivious happiness.